Flylady Diane here. Welcome back to another question and answer session. I've got a whole lot of questions written down that you had put in the comments, but if you are just about to watch this video, please make sure that either you are taking a break right now, so maybe you want to go and grab yourself a glass of water, put your feet up, relax, and also if you're not taking a break, make sure that you go and do the next thing that's on your list before you start watching this. So pause the video and maybe you need to go and unload the dishwasher, reboot your laundry, take out what is going to be for dinner tonight. Maybe you've got something in the freezer that needs to be taken out. Maybe you need to take out the trash. Maybe the trash is being picked up. So go and do that. Just pause the video and then come back. And as I said, if you are on break time, go and grab a cup of coffee. And I'm just going to stop the dishwasher because I can hear that that's going to be making some noise. So let me stop that. There we are. Okay, so if everybody's ready, let's get started. So I had a lot of fun questions came up since last time. A mixed bag, so let's just dive right in and see what we get. So the one of the latest questions was about the Flylady's basic weekly plan. Now, remember, if you are a brand new fly baby, a lot of what I might be talking about in the question and answer session, it may confuse you even more. And I don't want that to happen to you. All you need to know is if you start with Flylady, do the 31 baby steps. I've got a video for every day of 31 days. I'll put the link up there. And just take that. Don't worry about all the other things in Flylady because we've really got to build up slowly and you will get there. All right. So don't worry if there's something that comes up today and you think, oh, I should be doing this. No, you shouldn't be doing anything. You should just do what you can and start with Flylady's 31 baby steps. Anyway, for those of you who are onto the basic weekly plan, the basic weekly plan is where we have some purpose to each day. So if I can explain it, like, you know, if you just had a blank page, you know, when the kids are off on summer vacation and you have all these ideas and you're going to do all this stuff, but what happens is, if you don't plan it, nothing happens. And that's the same with every single day, week, month of our lives. If you don't plan anything, you know, it'll be all well and good for a couple of days and you'll feel like you're relaxing. But then the stress sets in because you've got all these things that you think you need to be doing or you think you have forgotten to do. And all we're doing with the Flylady system is kind of putting everything in its place, not just items in the house, but also tasks that you have to do, things that you have to remember, just everyday things. We're just putting them, we're just planning them. Because when we do a little bit of planning, that takes away all the stress. It's really not scary when you can see what you have to do. But if you are walking around keeping everything, you know, between your ears, you know that does not work. It does not work in the long run. So the basic weekly plan in Flylady, we have a purpose for each day. Now this doesn't mean to say that you have to take your day and your whole day is taken up with the purpose. What it is, for example, Monday is the designated day for the weekly home blessing. That's when we do a small upkeep clean of the main areas of the house. Remember, it's not the whole house we're cleaning, we're just keeping up with things in the main areas. That's on a Monday, and I'll get into the days, you know, how to set up your basic weekly plan in a minute, but I'll just go through them first. So Monday is weekly home blessing. Tuesday is plan and play day. That's the day that you are going to plan menus, plan vacations, what the kids are going to be doing during summer break. Maybe you're planning a baby shower, you might be writing birthday cards, going through bank statements. So it's anything that's kind of desk day and planning ahead. And also planning in, either having play that day or planning for play. I have to keep my friends on my radar, so I actually have to plan that I will meet a friend for coffee or go out for dinner or go to a concert. So that's plan and play, Tuesday. And then Wednesday is Anti-Procrastination Day. And that is the day that we get around to putting off all those tasks that we have been putting off. More on that later, and I've made some videos about these, but anyway. So Weekly Home Blessing Day, and then we have Plan and Play Tuesday, Anti-Procrastination Day Wednesday. Thursday is Errand Day. That's the day that we get all the things that we need to do outside of the house, like going to the library, post office, picking up medicine, grocery shopping. We do it all on the same day because we can save ourselves time, money and energy, and doing it on one day instead of running out every day because, oh yeah, we need to drop that off and we need to hand that in. So that's Thursday's Errand Day. And Friday, you will have seen on one of my videos, Friday is when you clean out your car and fill it up with petrol or gas, whatever you like to say. You're also going to just do a quick clean of your car when you're filling up with gas, take out the obvious trash, fold up blankets, put it back in the car so that you're always ready to go and should there be an emergency or just need to give somebody a lift. Friday is also clean out your handbag or clean out your purse or clean out your school bag, baby changing bag, all of those things, any kind of bag that you're carrying around, sports bag. And Friday is also date night with either with yourself, your significant other, whoever it is. So that is Friday. Saturday is family fun day. If you don't have a family, you have fun by yourself, meet up with a friend. And Sunday is renew your spirit, which is doing something that, just gives you the joy, puts the joy back into your life. Anything that you like doing, and it can be anything from windsurfing to going to church, playing the bagpipes, whatever floats your boat, you do that on a Sunday. Just take a moment to relax, recharge your batteries. So that is the days of the basic weekly plan. I would strongly suggest that even if you feel like I felt, if you're working from home or you're at home or you're a pensioner, retired, we have the tendency to think, well, I don't really need a basic weekly plan because I can do those things any day of the week. I would just suggest to you very kindly that you rethink that, because as I said, if you don't have a plan for these things, suddenly everything else takes over and we never get around to doing it. So the basic weekly plan is a really good idea for those of you outside of the home, because you've got lots going on, you've got to get to work and you've got to organize everything else. But also when you are at home, when you're working from home or at home with the kids, because that way we just have some purpose to our day and things are not being left off. Right, so I'll keep it short there for a basic weekly plan. If you have Sync Reflections, Flylady Marla, she talks about, she used to have Tuesday as a free day and desk day on a Friday. That has evolved over time. She's changed it to the new one, which I think works really well. But I've talked about basic weekly plan before. I think I did a video on it. I'll try and find it and link it up there. Otherwise, I do have some videos where I talk about Anti-Procrastination Day, Errand Day and Friday and the other ones. So anyway, you can go and take a look at that. If you're a new fly baby, don't worry about that right now. As I said, we'll get to it. Right, on to the next thing, because we're already 9 minutes. Yes, I had a question, am I left-handed? Yes, I'm left-handed, as you can see. Another question, when do we vacuum the stairs? If you've got a hall with stairs, well, for me, I do the stairs, I do the bottom, when we've got weekly home blessing, the 1 hour where we just keep up with the house and do the main areas. what I tend to do is 1 week I do the bottom half of the stairs, and the next Monday I do the top half of the stairs and down, if that makes sense. If you want to go in and put it in for every week, go and do that. Otherwise, do it every second week. It's up to you. Just make sure that it's on your radar. Don't worry about it. Vacuuming stairs should only take a couple of minutes. If you don't have carpeted stairs, a really easy way to do it that my Danish mother-in-law, dearly departed, she taught me was just to walk down the stairs backwards and use an old cloth that was going to be thrown out anyway, and just, you know, kind of wipe them, and when I got to the bottom, throw away the cloth. So you can do it any way that you like. So that was cleaning stairs. Oh yeah, looking after pets. You know, we have a dwarf, no, hold on, we call them dwarf parrots in Danish, lovebirds. You'll have heard them in some of my videos. They're very quiet this morning. We also have fish, and somebody asked me, how do I deal with looking after, you know, pets and, you know, cleaning out your cat bowls or litter trays? Well, I find it really useful for me. Just, I've got a piece of paper where I've got it written down, you know, like the kids, they have their school schedule. And I've got written on this little piece of paper, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I've got the names of the basic weekly plan at the top. So I know that, you know, it's weekly home blessing, plan and play day. And also that I schedule in for myself other things like knowing that they come and pick up our garden refuse once a fortnight. That's on the list. And once a fortnight they pick up our recycling, so that's on my list. And I also put in cleaning out the bird's cage on my list for once a week. I normally do it the night before our garbage is picked up, and that's just a little trigger for me to get that done. They are my son's birds. My son, who's 17, he's in the States right now, so I'm looking after the birds, but normally that's his task. And it's on his list of things to do once a week. So that's him. So just, you know, make sure that you write it in your diary, put it in your calendar, put a reminder on your phone. Also, with the daily things like changing water bowls and feeding them, use any triggers. You know, I've said this before, use triggers. So you can say to yourself, you know, if you're at home, every day when I have lunch, before I have lunch, I'm going to, you know, clean out the dog's bowls, you know, scrub the cat, whatever it is you want to do. What I do is in the morning, when I change the lovebirds' water bowls, I put one in the dishwasher, and the one that is clean I fill up and put back in the cage. So that way I've always got a water bowl going. Do you see how that works? I don't even have to remember it, because when I unload the dishwasher, I've got the clean bowl ready to go back in the bird's cage. I go through, I take out the dirty bowl and I put it into the dishwasher. And I run my dishwasher once a day, so that I don't even have to remind myself. It's just there, it's just happening. So use any kind of triggers that you can, and go ahead, if you've got kids, put it on, you know, for their list of what to do that they need to remember, and feed the fish, whatever it is. So that's it for looking after your pets. Just add it on to, you know, what you're already doing, but write it down. Make sure that you write it down or put a reminder on your telephone. That way, chances are it will get done. When are we getting the Android app for Flylady Plus? Remember, Flylady Plus app is the one that Marla's nephew Alex, you know, the Flylady. I work for Alex, her nephew, who came up with Flylady Premium. He came up with a fantastic app, Flylady Plus. You'll find it in the App Store. Only available for Apple devices right now. It's a fantastic app, it's free, go and download it. They're still tinkering with things. Hopefully the routines will be resetting automatically soon. They're working on that. And I really hope too that there'll be an Android version, because I'm an Android girl. I think Alex said they were hoping to get out for Christmas, but don't hold your breath. You know, these tech things sometimes take longer, but they are working on it, so it will be coming at some point. Hold on, I hope you've got a cup of coffee or something. Go and grab a cup of coffee. Right, next up. Oh yeah, thanks for all the great comments that you had about my winter bathing video. There were a few things about that. Do we have sharks? Am I scared of swimming with the sharks here? No, kind of really dangerous animals around here in Denmark. The only thing that we have to watch out for are stinging jellyfish in the summer, and also there are some quite vicious crabs sometimes, so we need to watch our toes, because there's one that seems to hide down at the bathing club, and he's really fast and quite kind of cranky, so I watch out for him when I've got to keep my toes up. And a lot of you have said, oh, why do you swim naked? The thing about swimming naked is it's just so cold here in the winter when we swim. I mean, there can be snow and ice, as you have seen in my winter bathing video. If we were wearing a suit, it would freeze to our skin. So it's not because we want to swim naked, it's just it would be very unpleasant, and you know, the water can be just at freezing point. You know, the edges of the sea can actually be like slush ice, frozen. And when we're standing down at the beach, it can be, the wind chill can be like minus 10, minus 15, and that's Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but just let's put it this way, it is freezing cold. So that's why we don't wear suits. If we are down at the beach from now we start wearing costumes, because of course there's a lot of people using the beach and it's not quite so cold, but that's the reason for that. And oh yes, one that comes up a lot is clothing. How much clothing do you need? And some tips. Well, I talked about this last time. Please wear the clothes that you have. I know you all think that I have a fantastic wardrobe, and thanks, and I'm always looking put together. It's very simple. I wear what I have. I had a lot of suits, and you know, I used to work in the Court of Justice, the Supreme Court of Justice of the European Communities, and you know, I had my little kind of Chanel suit every day. And when I moved to Denmark, I wasn't working in corporate workplace anymore, but I've been able to, you know, I don't really use the trousers, you know, the pants so often, because they're not comfy for me working from home, but I can use a lot of the jackets. So just use what you have. If you have like some really nice tops, then pair them up with a pair of dark jeans, and that, you know, that'll make you feel that it's not quite so fancy. But please use what you have, you know. And if you are looking at your outfit the night before, as many of you had commented, you actually can see your wardrobe in a new light, and you maybe start adding a necklace that you haven't worn for a long time. I haven't worn this one for a long time. And you'll just be a bit more aware of what you're wearing. And you know, I clean in, you know, the outfit that I've got. If I'm going to do some cleaning today, I just take off my jacket and I can put on a fleece if it's going to get really messy, or I can put on an apron. But you know, I'll show you here. I'm just wearing my jeans. I've got some jeans and I've got my indoor shoes on and my jacket, but I can take this off and then I can clean, and then once I'm clean, if I'm running out to appointments, then I can just put on my jacket and I am ready to go. All we want to be is ready to go, and don't get hung up on the shoes thing, dressing to shoes. Try and think of it as you just want to look decent. You don't want to look like somebody from The Walking Dead. You've got to get rid of that attitude of wearing the yoga pants. They don't look good on anybody. Oh, sorry. I just set my timer because I don't want to go over time today. I know your time is precious. Right, I'll do two more. Yes. here's another question. How do you get on with decluttering when you don't feel like it? If you are having a down day, I was having a down day yesterday, please look after yourself. Don't go beating yourself up and saying, I have to do X amount of minutes, get your time out and thinking, oh, I should be doing 15 minutes of decluttering. As I've said before, anything that you can do is better than nothing. And if you are having a really down day, I get them quite often. I'm going through the menopause. I have learned just to listen to my body and, listen to my head. Just be really good to yourself. Don't force it and don't say, I have to do this, have to do that. I just take my day really slowly. I've got my list of what I hope to do. If I don't get it done, it doesn't matter, because I know it's going to pass again, and the next day, I'll be working at 100 kilometers an hour and back to normal speed. The main thing is that you listen to what is going on in your head and your body, and take a break. If you can, get outside, go for a little walk, enjoy, half an hour of your favorite TV series, eat some chocolate, because I found, especially with me right now, when I have these down days, if I just am nice to myself, if I'm not kind of beating myself up and saying, oh, I should be doing this, should be doing that, actually I can turn the day around and I can restart my day. So please don't force anything. Now, on the other hand, if you don't feel like decluttering, and there's nothing really, wrong, and you just are scared to get started, you know what's coming. Set your timer and just start with 5 minutes or even 2 minutes, and just take the item and say, am I using this? Am I ever going to use it again? Can I give it away? Does it need to be recycled? And just deal with it one item at a time. And we had we did a challenge up to Easter, and Flylady Emma and I were doing this challenge of declutter one item a day for Lent. And the rules they were very simple. It was you decluttered one item a day. Only one. Now, if you managed to declutter more than that, that was fine and good. But the next day, you had to declutter one item again. You weren't allowed to declutter 10 pieces of paper one day and say, well, the next day, I don't need to do anything. And the interesting thing that a lot of you found was that by just, bringing the barrier down and not saying, oh, I'm going to declutter a whole bag every day, when you actually said, just one piece of paper, it allowed you to stop in your perfectionism and say, you got rid of one and you found that, oh, actually you could do 2 that day or 3 that day, 4 that day. And people were throwing out some stuff, and then the next day they'd go back to 1, and then the next day they would maybe do 20. So maybe start off like that. Say to yourself, the only thing I've got to do is one single thing. And see if that helps. I'll put a link to the 40-day declutter challenge, because often it's because we're trying to do too much. And when we try to do too much, we don't get anything done. It kind of stops us in our tracks and we get really scared. Okay, one more, and then let's call it quits for today. Routines when you have your family staying. Yeah, somebody asked me, I've just had my family staying here for an entire week. We had 5 extra adults in the house. We had 3 guest bedrooms going, the bathrooms, and we also went to Sweden, to our Swedish cabin, and we came back again. Huge family celebration. We had 30 people all afterwards in the garden. You know what? I kept on with my bare routines every day. We were running the dishwasher, 5 times a day. I didn't do any zone cleaning, and you know what? The world didn't come to an end. I just cleaned as I saw things. I'll be doing a bit more this week, and that's the thing, when you're consistent, the other 48 weeks of the year, it really doesn't matter if you have family coming because you've organised it in advance, hopefully in baby steps, and you'll get back to it, because let's face it, a lot of us haven't cleaned, or weren't cleaning for months. So 1 week with your family is not going to make a big difference. So just carry on with your main routines, looking at your outfit the night before, setting up the coffee machine for breakfast if that's one of your things, keeping the sink clear so that guests can actually grab a glass of water, doing your swish and swipe in the bathrooms, so you're just keeping things running. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short here. If you've got any more questions, I would love to hear them. Just put them in the pinned, I'll put a pinned comment here and just add them to that. And otherwise, I will be checking in with you again tomorrow. Today is Thursday, it's Errand Day, so if you need ideas for Errand Day, go and have a look, I'll put in some links. And that's it for me. Flylady Diane signing off from very windy Copenhagen, and my eyes are running like mad today, so it's good that I've got this waterproof mascara on. Anyway, I shall see you very soon. Live long and prosper, have a lovely day, and that's all for now. Bye.